Okay, so I think I finally decided what truck I'm going to put my money down on. Not to mention, I've got some leaked pricing on the 2023, I guess it would be, Ford Lightning, their electric truck. And if we're going to talk about electric trucks, we're going to talk about the electric Silverado because two things. A, I have a date as to when they're releasing that, and it's right around the corner. Not to mention some information on that as well. So with that, let's get going. Okay, so as promised, I am going to talk to you about the pricing on the F-150 Lightning, or sorry, the Ford Lightning, I should say, the leaked pricing that I've seen and found online. Not to mention, I really want to talk about some of the new changes coming for the electric Silverado, some of the new things we're expecting, and of course, the date that they're releasing it, which is very, very, very soon. That all being said, though, you know, if you've been watching this channel, you know that I love to bring you all the information I can on the Chevy Silverado GMC trucks, as well as the Yukons, Tahoes, Colorados, Canyons, HD trucks, anything GM truck SUV related, I want to bring your way. So why don't you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the news or exciting things, or maybe a tip or a trick that I can help you out with if you own one already. I would really appreciate that. Now, before I get this video started as well, I'd like to ask you this. If in 2022, you're one of those people that is going to be buying a truck. We are now into 2022. It is January 3rd. I'm very curious to know, what truck is it you would buy? Would you be getting a different brand, or are you getting a Chevy or a GMC? Is it an electric truck? Is it a ZR2 AT4X? What truck is it that you're after? I'm very curious. Hit those comments below and let me know. But with that being said, let's get on with the rest of this video. All right, so first I want to talk about the truck that I want to put my money down on. Now, of course, as you've watched this channel, I do my research. I've been researching all the new trucks coming out, and GM has had a plethora of new vehicles and exciting things that have been coming around the corner and have been released and are about to be released shortly. And of course, let's just first and foremost talk about the 2022 refreshed GMC Sierra and Chevy Silverados. And if you've been watching my channel, you know that there's some major changes coming in the inside of those trucks. If you haven't been watching my channel, there's some major changes coming on the inside of those trucks in the way of a massive 13.4-inch color touchscreen. There's going to be a nice digital display in front of the driver, fully configurable, 12.3-inch, I believe it is, color touchscreen in front of the driver. Not to mention, we're going to be going to console shift. And we've had a release of 3 new models of trucks between the GMC Sierra and the Chevy Silverado. Of course, the first one I'm talking about is the Sierra Denali. Now, of course, it's one I sort of thought about, but you know what? The Denali is just not really down with what I'm looking for. It has a few more extra things than I want. You know, massaging seats, I can live without that, of course. I can live without the ventilated seats, that come standard on this. So that, you know, with the Sierra Denali Ultimate, if you didn't know so, it comes basically standard with just about everything. Carbon fiber box, the kicker stereo system in the tailgate, the multi-pro tailgate. As mentioned, again, we're going to have some pretty crazy leather inside. We're going to have wood grain in there, suede headliners, Super Cruise. I mean, a bunch of different features. Amazing truck, but I just think it was a bit more pricey for the, things that I don't really care that it has. I mean, some of those things I care for, but not all of them. So there's another GMC truck, though, that obviously was up in consideration for myself, and I was thinking about, what about the AT4X? And it was a truck that I was really excited to have come out, but I have to admit, I'm a bit disappointed upon its release. Now, not disappointed on the features it has or anything else. I think I just was hoping for a more aggressive look to the AT4X. And if you don't know so, of course, we have the AT4 in our lineup still and the refreshed GMC Sierras, but now we're having the AT4X, which has things like the locking front and rear differentials. It's called Multimatic DSSV suspension, higher approach angle, exhaust system that's up higher, and it's going to come, again, similar to the Sierra Denali Ultimate. It's going to have massaging seats for the driver, a new type of leather, again, the center console shift, and the new screens, of course, as well. So a lot of new things on that truck, but again, I just felt if I put it up beside the new regular AT4, I don't see a whole lot of difference cosmetically, and I'm not a hardcore off-roader, which leads me to talk about the other new truck that was released. And again, you probably already know this, but the 2022 Silverado ZR2, or ZR2 for my Canadian friends. Now, that is a truck that I was blown away by, and I still am. I really like the looks of that truck, and it was a very close front runner for me, especially over even the AT4X. Now, I know I'm wearing Chevy right now. I'm not a Chevy guy or a GMC guy, one more than the other. I'm both. I love all the GM trucks, of course. But I really think that the Chevrolet brand did a better job at the off-road truck in terms of, the pricing of it in comparison to the GMC Sierra, and the AT4X, pardon me. And again, that was a hard choice, but I don't think that that's the way I'm going to go. Now, if we want to talk some electric trucks that are out there right now, of course, we already know about the Hummer truck, the Edition 1. We've had LeBron James out there advertising this thing. There's no question, it is a phenomenal piece of machinery, and it's a work of art. But despite all this, and despite all the amazing features like crab walk and the ability to raise and lower that suspension and see underneath you with cameras and so on and so forth, I mean, the features are endless and amazing. We're talking, thousands of horsepower and torque in this thing, that like the numbers are just outstanding. But for me, I can't justify 112,500 basically US, which we're talking about 130,000 Canadian. We're not going to see it up here in Canada until next year. So, that one was, as much as I would love that truck, was a bit too pricey for me. And then we also want to talk about the fact that just recently we've seen a teaser video of the new, soon-to-be released GMC Sierra Denali electric truck. Now, I'm very curious to know what you think about that. Now, my thoughts on this are, I think it's going to be coming in at a very high price again, because GMC has mentioned the Sierra in electric trucks is only going to come in the Denali trim first, at least, okay? So, of course, just like the Hummer coming with the Edition 1, which came with everything, the Sierra, I would imagine, is going to come with everything, so it's going to be a higher priced truck, and my guess is going to be probably close to that $100,000 mark. That's just my assumption. I have nothing to base that on other than my experience and just watching how these things have been going. So that leaves us with one. I shouldn't say it leaves us with one. I'm not looking for a Colorado Canyon. I'm not looking for a 3/4 ton or a 1 ton truck. I don't need that, and the smaller trucks are just too small for me. To be honest with you, the truck that I'm thinking about is actually the new, soon-to-be released electric Silverado. Now, it's going to be based on a couple factors, though. I think I'm ready to put my money down, provided it comes in with a couple of these things. First and foremost, it has to have the looks, right? So it has to have some decent looks to it. Now, what we do know about this truck so far is some pretty cool features coming down the line. Now, this being said, I do think that some of the features we've seen online already, and let me just go down a couple of those things. First and foremost, we're talking about potential 24-inch wheels on this electric truck, 4-wheel steer. We're talking about a full glass roof on the truck. I do believe that some of those features are most certainly going to be reserved for the higher trim levels, which are going to be a higher price. But unlike the GMC Sierra, the Chevy Silverado is at least going to come, from my understanding, with a bit better base price. They're going to have steps in it, very similar to our friends at Ford and the Lightning. And again, we're going to talk about that pricing here in a second. So if I can get into, let's say an RST type trim level or LT, whatever it may be, in the Chevy Silverado, I think that might be the ticket for me. Now, let me be very clear and say this. I am a truck guy through and through, but lately, just the way that's going on with my life, and I have a young family, young children, I'm not doing the off-roading things as much. I'm not towing the sleds as much, that kind of stuff, and going back in the bush and going far. So for me, it's putting the kids in the back, putting the odd thing in the back of the truck, going to hockey, whatever it may be. And I think that's where the electric Silverado is really going to hit the mark for me. And they're talking about potentially 400 miles of range. Now, whether that's at the top trim level and you're getting less when it comes to the mid trim levels, I can't really speak to that obviously yet. We are going to find this out, by the way, on January 5th. So today, the day I'm doing this video is actually January 3rd. This video is going to come out January 4th, tomorrow. So it'll be the day after, on Wednesday, we're going to see the release of the new Chevy Silverado EV. Originally supposed to be in Las Vegas at the CES convention. Mary Barra, was supposed to announce that. Unfortunately, with everything going on with COVID right now, that had to be done virtually. So we are still going to see the truck. It's just going to be done virtually, which for me in Canada, that's the way I was going to see it regardless. So very excited to see, what they are going to come with there. Now, again, very similar, I think, in terms of the fact that they're going to have to keep similar pricing to what we're seeing with the Ford Lightning, because it's going to be a direct competitor, and it's going to be made for the more average masses. The people aren't going to spend $100,000 on a Hummer EV or $100,000 on a Sierra Denali, you know what I mean? Or whatever the Rivian and pricing's coming in. It's got to be a bit more competitive pricing. So what I have seen online is the pricing. I just got it written down here because there's no way I remember this right now off the top of my head. It looks as though this is how the pricing is going to come in for the Ford Lightning. Now, this is what I've seen online, so I can't 1000% confirm, but it seems pretty legit to me. We're looking at the Pro version at $39,974 American, which is about 46,000 Canadian. I roughly guesstimated. XLT coming in at 52,974, so essentially 53 grand, which is about 61,000 Canadian. The Lariat is going to be 67,474, which is about 78,000 Canadian, and the Platinum is 90,874, which is about 105,000 Canadian. So if you look at that XLT and we use that as a litmus test to what you think, your just above base trim level truck is going to be in a Chevy Silverado, we're probably talking around 53,000, which I think is very doable and very realistic for a lot of us. Now, interestingly enough, Ford has over 200,000 apparently orders in for these trucks already. Deposits, I guess, put on them as you would say. They only allotted for 150,000. They didn't anticipate this. I'm really hoping that Chevy comes to the plate and has more. I've been hearing things like Ford dealers right now asking over $30,000 above retail, and I'm hoping we're not going to see that, of course, coming the way of Chevrolet. I'm hoping that they've got the forethought and they've seen what's happening with Ford to say, hey, listen, we're gonna need more of these. Now, I know that many of you watch my channel are not electric truck fans. You probably those people have already maybe tuned out. I don't know. But I'm curious, in 2022, first of all, are you looking for a truck in 2022? And if so, what truck would you buy? If you had the choice right now, if money let's say money is a factor, right? Because it's a factor for all of us. What truck would it be that you would choose? I'm very curious to know. Stay tuned, because on Wednesday or Thursday, I will be giving you all the information on the new electric Silverado, my take on it, and whether it is I am actually going to put that money down on that truck. Listen, as always, I want to thank you so much for watching. Until next time, everybody, take care.